Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3, chapter number 22, entitled The Marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Text number 20. Yato bhavad vishwamidam vichitram samsthasyate yatra cha vavatishthate prajapatinam patireshamakhyam param pramanam bhagavan anantah. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The highest authority for me is the unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom this wonderful creation emanates, and in whom its sustenance and dissolution rest. He is the origin of all Prajapatis, the personalities meant to produce living entities in this world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila. Kardama Muni was ordered by his father Prajapati to produce children. In the beginning of creation, the Prajapatis were meant to produce the large population which was to reside in the planets of the gigantic universe. But Kardama Muni said that although his father was Prajapati, who desired him to produce children, actually his origin was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, because Vishnu is the origin of everything. He is the actual creator of this universe, he is the actual maintainer, and when everything is annihilated, it rests in him only. That is the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. For creation, maintenance, and annihilation, there are the three deities Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, Shiva. But Brahma and Maheshwara are qualitative expansions of Vishnu. Vishnu is the central figure. Vishnu, therefore, takes charge of maintenance. No one can maintain the whole creation but he. There are innumerable entities and they have innumerable demands. No one but Vishnu can fulfill the innumerable demands of all the innumerable living entities. Brahma is ordered to create and Shiva is ordered to annihilate. The middle function, maintenance, is taken charge of by Vishnu. Kardama Muni knew very well by his power in progressive spiritual life that Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, was his worshipable deity. Whatever Vishnu desired was his duty and nothing else. He was not prepared to beget a number of children. He would beget only one child who would help the mission of Vishnu. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, whenever there is a discrepancy in the discharge of religious principles, the Lord descends on the surface of the earth to protect religious principles and to annihilate the miscreants. Marrying and begetting a child is considered to liquidate one's debts to the family in which one is born. There are many debts which are imposed upon a child just after his birth. There are debts to the family in which one is born, debts to the demigods, debts to the pitas, debts to the rishis, etc. But if someone engages only in the service of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, who is actually worshipable, then even without trying to liquidate other debts, one becomes free from all obligations. Kardama Muni preferred to devote his life as a servant of the Lord in Paramahamsa knowledge and to beget a child only for that purpose, not to beget numberless children to fill up the vacancies in the universe. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
So Kardama Muni is pleased to accept Devahuti on the request of Emperor Swayambhuva for marriage. And even though Kardama Muni was a complete celibate brahmachari, he did have a desire to marry, not for ordinary reasons as it is explained here, in order to produce one child that would carry out the mission of Lord Vishnu. So we see the Supreme Lord, after having created this world, or every time after creating this world, he has his own servants carrying out his orders to fill up the universe with the living entities. So many planets. So the Prajapatis are the one who has given that command to now you fill up the universe with the living entities. categories. So, the Supreme Lord, though He is transcendental to the material nature, transcendental to the material world, though not part of the three gunas, in His scheme of things, this material world is also very important for Him. Anything connected to Lord Krishna, whether this is material creation or His personal leelas in Vaikuntha, they are all on the absolute platform. One it lasts less, one it lasts more. That is the reason at several places Prabhupada says that we should have a proper perception towards Srimad Bhagavatam's content. From first canto, so many things are described about this material creation, about the different incarnations of the Lord on this world, in this world, material world. All those things are on par with the 10th canto description of Krishna's Rasalila. Because it is all activity of one person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in our mind, nobody should think that these are all little less spiritual. First to 9th canto is little less spiritual. Real spiritual is in the 10th canto. The Lord is unlimited. Being unlimited Lord, He has got unlimited varieties of activities. Starting from the activities in the material world where the living entities are given freedom to fulfill their unlimited desires by giving them temporary material bodies and taking them through the journey of birth to death, life after life, so many lives. And different living entities who have evolved in their journey of spiritual realization are given different responsibility, like Brahma, like so many devatas. In this material world, they are given that service. It's not that service itself anything less. No doubt, the demigod service and the gopis service are completely of different quality. One is completely pure devotion service. And devatas, they have so many desires. But one thing we should not forget, that ultimately it is the Lord's bigger picture. He has his relationship with different living entities, with given their freedom, how they want to have their existence is left to each living entity. Living that to each living entity is His supreme command, His supreme desire, His supreme scheme of things. Material world, the way it is running, it is Vishnu's scheme of things. If there is chaos, chaos is also His scheme of things. If there is order, it is His scheme of things. Ultimately, He is the Lord of everything that is existing, everything that is happening. He is the owner of everything, He is the controller of everything, He is the enjoyer of everything. This is the idea of God presented in Srimad Bhagavatam. So in that spirit, Kardama Muni service is pure devotion service. Getting married is pure devotion service. Yes, it can be pure devotion service. So it's not what the service is. It is the purity with which one executes the service that differentiates the spiritual status of that service. So therefore, all the different leelas that are there in this Srimad Bhagavata of the Lord and His devotees, Lord and His pure devotees, Lord and His Kama Bhaktas, devotees with desires, is all filled here. And very clearly, every opportunity is made, is utilized while describing these leelas to bring out pure devotion service from mixed devotion service. And it is a process the living entity has to go through. Therefore, when he hears these kathas, then he understands what is mixed devotion service versus pure devotion service. A pure devotion service can be done in any ashrama, brahmacharya ashram, sannyasa ashram, any ashram. Why? Because pure devotion service is done in a Paramahamsa platform. It's a platform that transcends the varnas and ashramas. It's a platform that transcends the three modes of material nature. That is our goal. What kind of service is not what is our goal. Our goal is to do Paramahamsa quality of devotion service. And from, it's not that suddenly you get a secret and then you can become a pure devotee. You become pure devotee by culturing pure devotion service. Prabhupada says it's not like one point enlightenment. Perfection in Krishna consciousness is not one point enlightenment. Perfection in Krishna consciousness, don't even look for that. One point enlightenment. Everything becomes clear. Yeah, no doubt. Everything becomes clear. After that, you would still have to culture the Krishna consciousness. Knowledge may come, but realization of knowledge is something that one has to culture in Krishna consciousness. And one has to culture the Krishna consciousness in the association of Vaishnavas. And culturing means inter-Vaishnava relationships. It's a slow process. It's not that, you can just learn that technique or skill or anything like that. It's a process by which the living entity learns how to give respect to every living entity. That is at the foundation. If the devotees don't learn how to give respect to every devotee, then he is not advancing in Krishna consciousness. If the devotee doesn't feel sensitivity about every other devotee's devotion service, then he is not making advancement. So if we have to look into ourselves whether I am making advancement in Krishna consciousness, one becomes finer and more sensitive to devotees. And it's not an easy path. That's not an easy path. Especially it's not an easy path if one is situated in the platform of false ego, ahankara. Ahankara about oneself, about ahankara, self-importance about oneself, ahankara about his service, ahankara about his knowledge, ahankara about his unique position, ahankara about his good fortune. All this pride that comes chokes our opportunity to convert mixed devotion service to pure devotion service. We are all doing devotion service. And demigods are doing devotion service. Everybody in the movement is doing devotion service if they are engaged in Prabhupada's service. But there has to be a constant effort and striving to perform pure devotions. Externally, two devotees may be wiping the floor of the temple. What difference it makes? Whether it is pure devotion service or mixed devotion service, depends on what is in the background of the devotee. What is the attitude of the devotee in which he is rendering that service? What is the consciousness with which he is acting as a humble servant of the Lord? Sometimes good fortune, good knowledge, good things that has come to us makes us so proud. We see devotees who have, got the opportunity to serve Prabhupada's mission morning to evening. Sometimes we see that they appear to be the most puffed up people on earth. No humility. Many karmis have more humility. They're so arrogant. I know now everything. He doesn't know anything. I know this life is temporary. He thinks this life is eternal. So see the attitude with that knowledge is applied. I am better than him. Not that he is thinking that, I was also like him once. In 1 second, if Lord's mercy goes, I'll be back like that. Pride. Possessions bring pride. Possession of knowledge also brings pride. So devotees have to be very, very careful in how to handle all the wonderful things that Prabhupada and Krishna is giving us. So much knowledge Prabhupada and Krishna has given us. No doubt we are so much more fortunate than so many living entities in this world. That more fortunate feeling should motivate us to make more people fortunate. And that is the spirit of the entire parampara. That is the spirit of preaching Krishna consciousness. That is the spirit of Srila Prabhupada which you have seen. Preach, 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 preach. Spread this movement. Just like Krishna has, as it is mentioned here, this material world is not just created and left like that. Material world is created and there is a laws of nature, and those who want to have so many material desires, according to law of karma, life is going on. But continuously Lord's mission is operating in this world. That is very clear. In the form of his various incarnations, the Lord is here in this material world, trying to wake us up from this material world. That is why various incarnations come in, and various activities, leelas of the law incarnation are performed here. So by hearing about it, we understand there is a Lord beyond this creation. There is a Lord who is the creator, the Lord who is the controller, owner, enjoyer of everything. By these incarnations, we get purified. We get opportunity to get purified. The deities of Lord Vishnu all over the earth, all over the world, they give an opportunity for devotees to come directly in touch with the Lord, directly in touch with His prasadam, His remnants, to get purified. Prasadam is pure knowledge. Anybody who takes prasadam will get pure knowledge. Not that you take ordinary food, you'll get carbohydrate, protein and vitamins, minerals you'll get. You get prasadam, you take prasadam, you will get carbohydrate, protein, minerals, vitamins, and pure knowledge. It is accompanying the prasadam. In the same way, the Lord's incarnation as a holy name is currently the most active incarnation on earth. The holy name is the most active incarnation. This incarnation of the Lord is performing his Leela exactly like Krishna performed 5,000 years back. Those Leelas are very characteristic to his particular form. In form he was there, in Leela he was there. Here the holy name is incarnation of the Lord. His body is the sound. What is the body of this incarnation in Kali Yuga? Sound. So you want to embrace this incarnation, you want to touch this incarnation, then you have to embrace this sound. You have to hear this sound. Then you are directly coming in contact with this incarnation of the Lord. So, the Lord is with the devotee who wants to serve his mission. The Lord is not unlimited. We should not think that we are doing this preaching disconnected from the Lord. We are doing the preaching as a servant of the Lord. The entire operation is controlled by the Master. The devotees are simply puppets in the hands of the holy name. If the holy name you are preaching, then you are simply a puppet in his hands, willing to become a servant. Not a material puppet. All jivas, when they surrender to Krishna, they are spiritual puppets. In the sense that they are blessed with the service of the Lord, but the direction, the way things happen, it is all left to the Lord. Just like if you see Srila Prabhupada's 1966 onwards, his Leelas, if you see, as an organization, you will see it's the most chaotic organization. Yet it built the greatest movement on earth. If anybody had seen that chaos in those days, hippies and all those things, and many unqualified people, spiritually not qualified, they had sent, sannyasas given, temple presidents were made, all, not that they were qualified or anything, or not maybe even 1 year chanting, even not even this kind of people. What is the answer? So, Krishna consciousness movement is not built by material perfection. Krishna consciousness movement is not built by material formulas. Krishna consciousness movement is not built by management gurus. Krishna consciousness movement is not built by management techniques. They all will serve a higher thing, which is the Lord's inconceivable ways in which Krishna consciousness grows. Cannot make material calculation. So nothing is perfect, except that the perfect Lord is being remembered in carrying out the activities of his mission. That is perfection. Don't see material perfection. There was spiritual perfection in every chaos that was there in this movement from 1966. Spiritual perfection was there. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada was there. Srila Prabhupada is trying to create, transcendental movement out of the imperfects. Out of imperfect servants of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada has created. Contaminated servants of the Lord, contaminated living entities he has created. a transcendental movement, which even in those days, if somebody understood the principles of Bhagavatam, he could clearly see that. Even today, somebody can see, they can see all these things. Those who are chanting Hare Krishna will never be let down by the Lord. They'll be used this way or that way in service of the Lord. He is in control. Lord Chaitanya's movement is in control of Lord Chaitanya himself. In one point, Prabhupada replies, who will succeed me? Lord Chaitanya will succeed me. Only Lord Chaitanya is running this movement. So one needs to have a simultaneously a view to perfect oneself. At the same time, one should understand that this material world is imperfect, and in this imperfect world we have to create more and more opportunity to engage more and more living entities into become Krishna conscious. That is and all those things are the impossible is possible because Krishna is there. Moment Sankirtana is not there, you have finished. Moment Japa is not there, you have finished. Everything goes away. Just like when after Krishna's disappearance, Arjuna's arrow had no power. Had no power. Because Krishna was there, Krishna's mission was being run, inconceivable things happened, some inconceivable power was there with Arjuna. So in the same way, we as devotees of Srila Prabhupada keep Prabhupada as our inspiration, as our guide. As he said, I never die. So by worshipping him every day, by following his instructions every day, and not taking our material mind to its measuring tendency. The material mind, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, this mind's measuring tendency, evaluating everything, judging everything with your tiny scale. You take your tiny scale and you want to measure the universe. Similarly, you take your tiny scale of your mind and you measure the movement. This is wrong, that is wrong, all these things. Don't worry. Doesn't mean there is nothing wrong. There may be so many things wrong. Something materially wrong may be transcendentally correct. I do not know. I do not know. I just carry on my duty, chant Hare Krishna, do my duties. So this measuring tendency will limit us. This measuring tendency will curtail us in our being instrument in the service of the Lord. Any questions?
For serving as spiritual master, just I was reading 2 days back, cleanliness, tapasya, and patience, so many things are required. So if a devotee has now developed these qualities, then can he be instrumental in the mission of Prabhupada and Krishna?
To that degree he will be. What is the difficulty?
Like Prabhupada's time you were
Even karmis who are giving you life membership money, they are also instruments in service of Prabhupada. They don't have any big tapasya, nothing. But what kind of instrument you want to be is a question. What kind of instrument? So they can be instrument. Perfect, imperfect, everybody. Even a devotee with material desires, he can be. But what kind of an instrument? What kind of an instrument Prabhupada will appreciate more and more? That is important. And that is given in the books. given in his teachings, that the pure devotion service. We should be aiming towards pure devotion service.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu said one who is not sensitive of other devotees' devotional service. So he is not making advancements. So this sensitive of other devotees' devotional service means in what way we should be sensitive of other devotees' devotional?
Sensitive means I don't step on your toes. I give you freedom to walk the way you want. With my feet, I don't step on your toes. That is number one. Which means you respect the other devotees' right to devotion service. Number one. Second this is respect to service. Second is, there should be attitude of appreciation for every devotee. There should be attitude of appreciation of the devotees' desire, effort, everything. Attitude, you may have an attitude of respect for that, but doesn't mean you may not see that the person is wrong somewhere. That is different, attitude is different. You cannot psych yourself and walk. So attitude is that of respect, seeing all the positive things that the devotee can do, he is offering. So many things where we all have so many defects. We are in a hospital. We are not yet in Vaikuntha. So we have to tolerate each other's sickness. Sometimes you have to tolerate another devotee's envy towards you. Just like in a hospital, one fellow is in bed, that fellow is in bed. He has got one disease, that fellow has got another disease. That fellow has got a TB, so he'll be coughing. This fellow has to tolerate. He doesn't have TB, he has got some other disease. So ashram is a hospital. You have to have tolerance. Simply by thinking that so many other devotees are tolerating me, why cannot I tolerate them? When we criticize devotees, we don't see that how bad I am. So this tendency to find fault, measure, criticize, that is very, especially for those who are not charged with the duty to do so, they are simply spoiling the devotion service. There could be a devotee in the ashram, everywhere he's saying, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. There's another devotee, he doesn't say what's right, what is right, what is right, what is right. This going on nicely, this going on nicely, this going on nicely, this is going on nicely. There's another devotee continuously saying, what is all not going nice? What is all not going nice? It's a dirty consciousness. This is fault-finding consciousness, our anartha. What is not going right? And you'll never feel any enthusiasm. If you go on being negative, where you will get enthusiasm? Devotees should think, it's such a wonderful place. Ashram is such a wonderful place. Every devotee has an intention to serve Prabhupada 24 hours. And then he will start seeing all the good things that are there. And not going on seeing all the... You have to admit and accept. You don't have to be blind. You have to accept and admit that there is imperfection. Everywhere. In everybody there is imperfection. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, all these things are there. Only when you get completely cured and become a pure devotee, then all these things are gone. Till then it is there. Keep taking medicine. Chant Hare Krishna, keep taking medicine. Of course, if something is very serious, we have to isolate. In a hospital, there is quarantining. If somebody is, too much diseased, then we put him in one separate room, quarantine. Is it not? So that he doesn't spread that disease too. It is just management of the hospital, that's all. It is not that we are against that devotee or anything. No, you move from here to, what is it? What kutir is it? Vaishnava Nivas. Go to Vaishnava Nivas. Very, very cruel. How you can send him to Vaishnava Nivas? It is hospital management. He is sitting and is coughing and making many others giving the same disease. The others will see him and then they will also follow him. So therefore, this kind of things are, is all very much part of. Everything should be seen in that spirit. And there is no excuse to being lazy. In the name of saying that, no, we don't need any perfection. Let things as it is. No. We seek perfection. Krishna Prabhupada wanted everything to be expertly done. But expertly done doesn't mean that you just got lost into some material perfection. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.